Hey there, and welcome. Ever been curious about the magic that happens behind the scenes in an IVF lab? Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to pull back the curtain on that incredible journey, step by step. So let's jump right in.
You know, it's a question so many of us have. Because the journey doesn't just stop at egg retrieval. Oh no. In a lot of ways, that's where it truly begins. So come on, let's follow the incredible path of a potential new life right from that very first spark.
Okay, so our journey starts right at the beginning, that amazing moment of fertilization. This is where all the science, all the hope, and perfect timing come together in the lab to create something truly incredible.
So in what you might call conventional IVF, this step is called insemination. It's pretty cool, actually. The embryologist just carefully places the eggs and sperm together in a special dish, and then lets nature do its thing. It's a really beautifully simple idea when you think about it.
Right. But what happens if the sperm needs a little push? And that's a super common situation, by the way. Male factor infertility is a part of the journey for a lot of people. And when that's the case, the lab has this truly remarkable technique up its sleeve.
And that technique is called ICSI. It's a bit of a mouthful. It stands for intracytoplasmic sperm injection. But what it means is pretty amazing. Instead of just putting the sperm and egg in a dish together, with ICSI, an embryologist actually picks out a single, healthy-looking sperm and gently injects it directly into the egg. Talk about a helping hand.
ICSI is a total game changer, especially in certain situations. It's fantastic for overcoming challenges like, say, a low sperm count, or if the sperm aren't great swimmers, that's called poor motility. It can even help with issues around the sperm shape. And it's a really powerful option if a previous IVF cycle didn't work out. I mean, this is precision science at its absolute best.
All right, so fertilization has happened. Now, the next chapter begins. The lab basically turns into this little nursery where they carefully watch over the embryos as they grow for the next 5 or 6 days. And believe me, this is a super critical time for both development and, selection.
Let's break down this incredible first week. So on day 0, you have fertilization. Then the embryo just starts dividing. By day 3, it hits what's called the cleavage stage. It's got about 6 to 8 cells. But then by day 5 or 6, something amazing happens. The strongest little embryos develop into a way more complex structure called a blastocyst. Getting to this stage is a huge milestone. It's like the embryo is showing everyone it's got what it takes to keep on growing.
Okay, so day 3 can be a really important decision point. There's a procedure called a blastomere biopsy that can be done. What happens is, they very carefully take out a single cell. This little cell can then be tested for genetic issues. It's a way to get some really valuable info about an embryo's health before it's even transferred.
I just love this thought. It's so perfect. Think about it. Just like a little chick hatching from its egg, an embryo has to break out of its own tiny protective shell so it can implant in the uterus. And yeah, sometimes it just needs a little bit of help to do that.
And that's where something called assisted hatching comes in. It's so cool. An embryologist uses this super high-precision laser to make a teeny-tiny opening in the embryo's outer shell. This can make it way easier for the embryo to hatch and then snuggle into the uterine wall. It's especially helpful for frozen embryos, because their shells can sometimes be a little tougher.
So while all this amazing stuff is happening with the embryo in the lab, there's another, equally important preparation going on. The focus shifts to making sure the uterus is basically the most perfect, welcoming home possible for its new arrival.
I mean, it really all comes down to timing. There's this very specific kind of magical period called the window of implantation. It's when the uterine lining is perfectly ready to welcome an embryo. And getting that timing just right, it's absolutely key.
And for anyone who struggled with implantation before, there's a really helpful test called an ERA test. It's designed to pinpoint that perfect moment. Basically, you do a kind of practice cycle, they take a tiny little sample of the uterine lining, and then analyze it to find the exact day it's going to be most receptive. Super smart.
And all of this brings us to the grand finale of the lab journey, the embryo transfer. This is it, the big moment everything has been leading up to, when that little embryo is finally placed back where it belongs.
One of the big decisions here is when to do the transfer. You could do a day 3 transfer, when the embryo is still in that early cleavage stage. But if it's an option, a lot of clinics really prefer to wait for a day 5 transfer. Why? Well, waiting until the blastocyst stage is like a little test. It lets the embryologist see which embryos are the absolute strongest and have the best shot at a successful pregnancy.
And then there's the other big question: how many embryos to transfer? With a single embryo transfer, or SET, the goal is simple: the healthiest, safest pregnancy you can have. It really lowers the risk of having twins or triplets. It might feel like transferring more would up the odds, but at the end of the day, the #1 goal is always a healthy baby and a healthy parent.
Okay, so after the transfer, the lab's part of the job is done. The embryo's on its way, and all that science and hope now leads to the waiting game. And honestly, this can be the toughest part of the whole journey.
10 to 14 days. That's it. That's the famous or infamous 2-week wait. It's that stretch of time between the transfer and the very first day you can take a pregnancy test to see if it all worked. And for so many people, it feels like the longest 2 weeks of their entire lives.
Yeah, this time is it's all about hope and patience and just trying your absolute best to trust the incredible process that's already happened. It's a roller coaster of emotions for sure, and it is so important to just be kind to yourself through it all.
So there you have it. We followed this incredible journey all the way from a single cell to the very edge of a brand new beginning. What a process, right? It's filled with so much science, incredible skill, and just so much hope.
Now, before we wrap up, it is super important to remember that everything we've talked about today is just for educational purposes. It is absolutely not a substitute for real medical advice. So please, always talk to your doctor with any medical questions you have. And hey, if you want more information on the complete IVF process, you can check out the portal ivfforme.com.
And we'll just leave you with this final thought. Every journey is unique, and every single step is filled with possibility. Thank you so much for joining us.